Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. So today's video is going to be my review on two new gourmand fragrances. And if you guys have been watching my channel, you know that I am not a gourmand lover, even though I'm always trying to chase gourmand fragrances because I always find gourmands that I do really enjoy, like Angel Share. I used to love Viva La Juicy. I think that one's considered a fruity gourmand. So I do enjoy some gourmands, especially now that we're heading into fall. I really do like looking for more gourmand fragrances, and when I tested both of these out, I did actually enjoy them. Do I think they're full bottle worthy? Not necessarily, but I did enjoy both of these fragrances, and that is Queens of Caramel by Ellis Brooklyn and Rare from the Rare Beauty collection by Selena Gomez. So let's go ahead and get right into the video. First up, we're gonna start off with Queens Caramel since I spent less time with this fragrance. So Queens Caramel by Ellis Brooklyn is considered a sweet vanilla caramel woody ambery honey powdery scent. This is a warm spicy gourmand with top notes of caramel, maple sugar, wild honey, and pink salt, middle notes of whipped coconut, vanilla orchid, white chocolate, and jasmine, and base notes of vanilla bourbon, amber woods, tonka bean, and milky musks. This scent, in my opinion, doesn't really have like a top, a mid, or a base, and I also don't get a lot of the notes. This to me is a sweet caramel maple sugar scent with a muskiness that keeps it from being overly edible, but it's the maple sugar that actually keeps me from loving the scent. So the musk makes me enjoy it more because it makes it more clean and musky. But the maple sugar, I get through the life of this fragrance and I'm not crazy about it. It's not syrupy sweet, because I did see that some people have maple syrup listed on the note breakdown. These are the notes that I actually pulled from the Ellis Brooklyn site. So it isn't maple syrup, it's maple sugar. And it is more of a sugary sweetness, but it's very much a maple scent. So think of the scent of maple syrup, but just not as strong. Because maple syrup, I don't know about you, but when I make pancakes, my house smells like maple syrup all day long. It's not that thick or sickeningly sweet, but it's there. And then it's caramel, it's got this sugary sweetness, it's vanilla, and then you get that musk that kind of balances the scent out. I don't necessarily get jasmine or any florals in this scent. It's very much a true gourmand, but what keeps it from being overly edible is the musk that is in this scent. Now, when I tried this scent, it did remind me of something I already have, which I found weird because I don't have gourmands like this, but it reminded me of something. So I went on Fragrantica, and the scent that this is most being compared to is Bianco Latte, which I've never tried. And some of the other comparisons I've never tried. So then I started going through the actual reviews, and several people compared this to Yum Bougie Marshmallow. I did try that out, and I would have to agree, this is almost like a flanker. Yes, a flanker to Yum Bougie Marshmallow, but those flankers where it's different enough. You get the DNA of the scent, but they go in a different direction. This is more strawberry milkshake, whereas Queen's Caramel is more caramel maple sugar. So more of a fall time version of Bougie Marshmallow, but it has the Bougie Marshmallow DNA. And when I checked the perfumer, it is the same perfumer. So the perfumer of both Queen's Caramel and Yum Bougie Marshmallow is Gabriella, and I will list her full name because I don't want to butcher her last name. So it makes sense that it's similar, but I do enjoy that she kept it different enough. Again, I think this is a scent that I would love if it wasn't for the maple sugar, because I love the sweetness in here. It's more of an airy gourmand scent. I think I will enjoy this scent for layering. I layered this with Ellis Brooklyn's Apple Love, and that was fall time in a bottle. Think of those caramel dipped apples. That is what this is when you layer it. So I'm really excited to try it with Eden Juicy Apple, because that one's even more apple to my nose. So I am excited to play with this for fall, but I'm happy with the travel. I think it'll be perfect to layer and experiment with, give you guys some layering combos. But then that's it. It's not one I would get a larger bottle of because I'm not crazy about that maple sugar note. So that is Queen's Caramel by Ellis Brooklyn. I did spend more time with Rare, so I have more thoughts on this one. So like Queen's Caramel, Rare is a warm, spicy, sweet gourmand. It is vanilla, sweet, powdery, woody, caramel, musky, warm, spicy, and balsamic. And it has top notes of creamy caramel and pistachio, middle notes of rich vanilla and spicy ginger, and a base note of earthy sandalwood. Some additional notes that I found online were pink pepper, cocoa, musk, and tonka bean. Now, I don't ever get the pistachio that's in here. I also don't get a nuttiness. I actually wasn't going to pick up this scent because of the pistachio note, but I don't pick it up. It never really gets nutty to my nose. When this scent opens, I get something clean like bergamot and something slightly fruity. Like I almost get this slight fruitiness, the slight fruity citrus in the opening that's maybe like bergamot. And I don't want to say orange because it's not juicy, but there is just something a little fruity in this one in the top. And then I get the ginger right away in this fragrance. And I get something tickling my nose that could be from the ginger, or it could be pink pepper that they are listing in other sites. And then as this dries down, I start to get the vanilla and the sandalwood, and this settles to be a very cozy, warm, spicy vanilla sandalwood scent. When I first sprayed this one, I almost purchased a bottle immediately. It reminded me of something, which is why I didn't pick up a bottle, but I couldn't put my finger on it. So in the car, I kept sniffing and I was like, maybe it's one of the fruity churrosas, because again, I was picking up something fruity in the opening, or maybe one of my Ellis Brooklyn fragrances. So I wanted to get home and try to figure it out, but I couldn't. So finally I went on Fragrantica, and when I saw what it was being compared to, I kicked myself for not figuring it out. But I think it's because as this one dried down, it differed enough that I couldn't put my finger on it. And that is Burberry Goddess. So in the opening, this is a dupe for Burberry Goddess. Yes. The differences are that this opens up with a strong lavender, and this opens up with, to me, like a bergamot. For me, it's something clean like citrus. But I do get something clean, and that's why I think they open up very similar. Where they differ is in the dry down. So this dries down to be warm spicy, but this one dries down to be warm and fresh spicy. The lavender in here sticks around. You get more vanilla in this one. This one has vanilla caviar, vanilla absolute, and I don't know if it's vanilla bourbon or just vanilla, but there's 3 kinds of vanilla in Burberry Goddess. This one dries down to have vanilla, but it's softer. This is, to me, Burberry Goddess the Eau de Toilette. Very similar. It could be a flanker, but it's one of those flankers where it's closer together. Whereas Queen's Caramel is a flanker to Young Bougie, but they differ enough. This one is definitely more like Burberry Goddess, but almost like an Eau de Toilette version. And it differs in that the vanilla isn't strong in here, there isn't lavender, and there's sandalwood in here in the dry down that you don't get in Burberry Goddess. So it's a little cozier that way, because the lavender in here, to me, makes this one more sophisticated, more businesswoman, and a little bit louder. This one, even though I don't find this one businesswoman, I do feel like this one's maybe more office appropriate because it's a lighter, more intimate scent in my opinion. It's more airy and a little bit more everyday than Burberry Goddess. Both wearable, but this one's got more of a sillage. It's louder, and again, it's just, I think that lavender that adds this sophistication to Burberry Goddess, where the sandalwood adds a more coziness to Rare. This to me is more summer transitioning into fall. You got this cashmere sweater, and there's this nice light crisp coolness to the air, and then you have this on, and it's just more cozy and warm from the sandalwood. It also differs from my other sandalwood fragrances that tend to fall in a similar category, like my Van Cleef & Arpels Santal Blanc, my Salt and Stone Santal and Vetiver, even Victoria's Secret Bear. They all have this similar sandalwood vibe. This differs with that ginger and the vanilla. Very pretty. I would consider getting a large bottle. It is redundant, but I love Burberry Goddess, and I didn't like the flanker, the Intense. I do want to try the newest one, but I have a feeling I'm not gonna like that one as well. This is the flanker I wanted. Maybe like a Burberry Goddess Eau de Toilette. It's inoffensive and not as loud. It doesn't create this very intense scent bubble or sillage. This one I've gotten compliments on. This leaves a very pretty sillage. This one performs better. This performs more like an eau de toilette. It's gonna sit closer to the skin. You're not gonna notice it after that 2 or 3 hour mark, but you'll get wafts of it throughout the day. So it's definitely the more lighter, airier version, but it is very close to Burberry Goddess. Now, they have different perfumers. The perfumer behind Rare is Jerome Epinette, and then the perfumer behind Burberry Goddess is Amandine Clark Marie. So there are different perfumer, but I would say that Rare and Burberry Goddess more closely resemble each other, especially in the opening, than I would say Queens of Caramel and Young Bougie, which are by the same perfumer. Again, a flanker where you get the DNA, but it goes in a different direction. This, even though they're by 2 different perfumers, are almost like if you have Burberry Goddess Eau de Parfum and the EDT. Very similar with slight nuances, slight differences. Both beautiful fragrances. And they did come out with 4 layering balms. I'm guessing that when you layer, it might create a different scent. So I do want to pick up the layering balms during the Sephora VIB to kind of play with the fragrances. I love when a fragrance is considered layerable, like it's advertised that way. So I do want to pick up the various balms. Hopefully they'll be available during the Sephora VIB. So that is my quick review on Selena Gomez's Rare and Ellis Brooklyn's Queen's Caramel. Let me know in the comments below, have you guys tried these? Do you find them to be redundant? What are your thoughts on them? But that will do it for today's video. I hope you liked it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye guys.